Now, for more on the fallout of this latest patent war, we are joined tonight by Rob Enderle. He's the principal analyst at Enderle Group in Silicon Valley. Rob, thanks for joining us tonight. Now, was it a surprise that Samsung won in this latest match against Apple?
Yeah, it was. Actually, it was thought that Apple would win most of these rounds. Apple has one of the strongest patent portfolios in the industry, particularly surrounding mobile products. Quite a bit stronger than Samsung is. But the difficulty, I think, is that many of the companies in this market are backed up by Qualcomm, who holds the biggest portfolio of patents, and Apple actually often isn't. So that's probably where Samsung came in here.
All right, well, talk to us about the International Trade Commission. Does it have a history of using a high burden of proof, or are they a little bit? Is it a little bit easier to see cases go the way they did today?
Typically, the Trade Commission looks at whatever legal operation is going on at the moment and lets that take the lead. So would typically follow a court case into the market with a decision like this. It's unusual for them to lead. And the fact that they did suggest that they met the relatively high burden of proof that exists. Recognize that when they make a decision like this, it has huge economic implications for the company that's hit, and particularly when we're talking about a very popular U.S. company, it would mean they really would dot their I's and cross their T's.
Okay, and Apple in response has said that they're going to appeal this decision. At the same time, Obama has to decide whether he's going to veto it or not. How likely do you think that is?
Well, Google's closer to the administration than Apple is. It was always thought that if it went the other way and a broad selection of Android products were banned from the market, that he would step in because Eric Schmidt, Google's chairman, had cut some deals with Obama, clearly to help Obama process a series of his initiatives that would allow him to step in and protect Google. The same thing doesn't exist for Apple, so it seems unlikely that he would step in. Now, don't get me wrong, Obama's a big Apple fan. He uses Apple products, but the relationship with Apple is nowhere near as close as it is with Google.
Okay, at the same time, Obama has been pretty vocal about wanting to fight against patent trolls, companies that just basically buy these patents, don't do anything else but buy patents to then sell them, and that can really infringe upon any kind of innovation. Could it be said that Apple, because Apple has bought companies with patents, could it be said that Apple is in any way a patent troll, or is that no chance?
No chance, really. A patent troll is a company basically built around a legal organization that buys up patents and uses those patents to extort money out of companies that are actually building things. They pay pennies on the dollars for these patents, so the inventors don't get any money. They don't produce or build anything. They just go out and extort money from companies that are building things. Apple is not that kind of a company. Apple gets patents, like most companies get patents, largely as a defense against other companies' patents. So if they are sued, they can come up and say, hey, you sue me on this, I'll sue you on that, and we'll negotiate some kind of a settlement. Typically, patents are defensive as opposed to offensive in a company like this. Now, having said that, Apple thought Samsung and Google stole the iPad and the iPhone from them, and as a result, they took an unusually hostile position against Samsung. But typically, they'd be using these more defensively than offensively.
Okay, well, let's talk about the potential of this ban, what impact it would have on Apple's business, considering these are only older devices, not the newer ones that it would impact, or could that change? Could we see that down the road they could go after some of these newer devices?
Typically, when the complaint is filed, it's filed against the devices that are in market at the time. And that means when it goes through the process and it is approved, as it was in this case, it can then be used or modified to address newer products that are in market. So just because it's addressing older products doesn't mean that the order couldn't be altered to address newer products. It's just the nature of the timing. Having said that, some of the newer products are using Qualcomm's radios because Apple had some radio problems with the old iPhone and iPad products, and the Qualcomm patents are much stronger than Apple's own, and they may get protection from Qualcomm as a result, so it may render those products much safer. But as I say, just because it's old products doesn't mean they can go after the new ones. Though, as I say, Apple has some protections from Qualcomm on some of the newer stuff.
Okay, debatable to see what impact it could have on Apple's business. Thank you so much, Rob, for joining us. That was Rob Enderle, the principal analyst at Enderle Group in Silicon Valley.